Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. This time we're going to be looking at Motorhead and welcome back to World of Tanks. This time we're going to be looking at Motorhead 1997. God, if that's when you were born, that's starting to make me feel old. Thank you Motorhead. Now I'm only joking. Play in his E-50M. Wow, 2 E-50M replays in the space of a couple of months. If you guys haven't seen already, this was the tank that won the 200,000 subscriber replay competition. And Motorhead is going to show you why this tank, given the opportunity, can kick some serious butt. So that's a Conway on the enemy team. That's one of the brand new Tier 9 British turreted tank destroyers. Seems to be a reroll account, but we'll see more about that Conway later. Now this matchup is fairly typical for a Tier 10 game. There's about a third of the enemy team are Tier 10s. Well, 4 tanks, so not quite a third. About another third are Tier 9. And then a third are Tier 8 at the bottom. So, very standard matchmaking. Now the E-50M loves this kind of matchmaking because generally these tanks towards the bottom will have lower penetration guns. Although, when they're Rheinmetall, Borsig, Waffenträgers, then that's not really the case, unless they elect to use the 150mm gun. One of the best things about the E-50M is its gun, really. It's a great performer. It's 105mm with 390 alpha damage, 270mm of penetration. And the aim time is low, and the accuracy is impeccable. This allows the E-50M to put in its shots quickly and reliably. And when I say quickly, actually, that's not entirely true, because the E-50M has a rate of fire of 6.25 rounds a minute, which is the lowest of any of the Tier 10 medium tanks. By quite a margin, I will say. The only tank that has worse overall DPM that's a medium tank at Tier 10 will be the Batchat, but that does get an autoloader. So this game is absolutely ferocious. Look at the tanks that are below him. And it looks like Motorhead wants to get stuck straight in. He tries to auto-aim at the T-62A, however he can't shoot him, he's behind a ridgeline. So Motorhead focuses his attention to this Tier 9 British medium tank, the Centurion 7-1. He keeps an eye out to see if he's going to be able to finish off the Lorraine, and indeed he is. Right through the turret. Even though he is aiming up at a slanted turret, the 270mm of penetration can easily go through the lightly armoured French vehicle. The Conway misses his shot at the Panther as he comes around the corner. Motorhead wants to focus on the Centurion 7-1 and seems to go right through the mantlet of that tank. But since its nerf several patches ago, that's not that hard. So the Conway bounces one off the upper plate of the E-50M. Motorhead uses the weight of this vehicle to ram the Conway for 218. The Conway kills an IS-8 that's behind him, not focusing his attention on Motorhead, and panic shoots into the upper plate. Now the gun depression on the Conway is rather poor. And what that means is the Conway is unable to aim down onto the weak points of the E-50M's armor. The Conway would have done much better to try and just penetrate the turret. Oh, that was unlucky. Aimed perfectly at the cupola of the WZ-120. Unfortunately, goes just over. Looks like the first shell manages to penetrate Motorhead's tank. Motorhead aims quite poorly there. He should have aimed for the side of the turret there and not the cupola. Decides that he's not getting enough done and pushes straight up. But all that gives him is a shot into the side of the turret. And he loses about a quarter of his hit points there. He bounces the Borsig, who is using the 128mm gun. That's the one with about 250mm of penetration. But the second shell goes right in to his lower plate. Even though he was aiming down at the lower plate, the angling was not enough. Motorhead has been consistently firing pretty much on cooldown for the last 5 minutes and secures his 5th kill of the game. What a fight this was down this flank. And the E-50M doesn't pretend to be the best brawler, really. It's a sniper by nature. But with the correct targeting, engaging the right kind of tanks, Motorhead has made it work as he finishes off the Speerpanzer there. Speerpanzer really shouldn't have gone down there by himself. Maybe he thought that he was able to get the flank of Motorhead. So, Motorhead sees an enemy briefly cap. And he's doing the right thing here. He knows where they were last spotted, all towards the west, encroaching on his base. Number one rule is to defend your base in World of Tanks. If you allow the enemies to cap, then you've lost. If you can't cap the enemy's base first, then you always need to secure your own. Motorhead seems to be setting up an ambush here on the wreck of a T-30. However, seeing that the enemies are now starting to put pressure on the cap circle, he goes around the corner, and this is a position that I didn't realize that you can use. He snaps one into the side of the VK-4502B, and then decides to retreat. Very good. He was 1 versus 5, but after killing the Speerpanzer, he's now 1 versus 4. He got spotted there, and what he doesn't want to do is stay into the same position once. He wants to try and keep vision up. And he wants to try and attack the VK from different angles. However, the VK has moved, and he tries to auto-aim a shot into the Batchat. I don't like that. I think with a snipe there, he would have probably killed the Batchat and not tracked him. Nevertheless, Batchat repairs his tracks and tries to get away from Motorhead, who bounces a shot and finishes him off. The VK was putting pressure on him, so that's the right thing to do. Whenever you're 1 versus multiple opponents, you have to be aggressive and kill them before they outflank you. I like what Motorhead did there. He knew he was still spotted, so he went into a position until his vision was reset, to give the idea that he was going to stay around with the VK, and then he decided to go south. Unfortunately for him, however, the VK did keep going over the ridge and spotted him, preventing him from kind of outsmarting his opponents. Now Motorhead gets spotted again. He cannot get away from his enemies. That is a full health Tier 9 German tank destroyer, Jagdtiger. But the real man that he needs to worry about is this T-62A. These two players seem to be just learning the game. T-62A, on the other hand, ambushes Motorhead, penetrating a heat shell into his vehicle and putting him well within the range of a one-shot for the enemy Jagdtiger if he's using the 128mm, which has 560 alpha damage. It's a 50-50 right now whether that Jagdtiger can kill him in one shot, and these are the kind of things that you need to be thinking about at the end of your game. What is the alpha damage of my opponents? Can I take a shot from them? Who do I need to prioritize? And obviously Motorhead needs to prioritize the T-62A right now, as he is low on health. The Jagdtiger seems to be playing quite well there. He's going up, only exposing his upper plate armor, not exposing his lower plate armor or his tracks, and is trying to bait a shot from Motorhead. Motorhead is not a fish, he doesn't bite. He is trying to hunt the T-62A, but unfortunately the Jagdtiger is proxy spotting him, allowing the T-62A to know where he is and get the jump on Motorhead instead. The T-62A misses a shot, and Motorhead goes back down the slope to get away from the Jagdtiger. He needs to kill this T-62A, and the T-62A is not stupid. He is not allowing Motorhead to get into a position to be able to finish him off. The Jagdtiger bounces yet another shell off the upper plate of the E-50M. It's very tense stuff as Motorhead continues to try and bait the T-62A into attacking him. But he's having none of it. The Jagdtiger has had enough and proceeds to come down the slope aggressively. Motorhead puts a good shot into him, and I don't think the Jagdtiger realized just how fast his tank would go down the slope and is unable to turn his tank, probably because of engine damage resulting from the shot that Motorhead put in. The T-62A seizes opportunity, fires one premium shell through Motorhead, and Motorhead is in a very tricky situation here. He puts another shot into the Jagdtiger, setting him on fire, thus crippling his traverse speed. And he uses the Jagdtiger as a human shield from the T-62A, who can only fire a heat shell at the upper plate of Motorhead, and fails to penetrate, and from here this is very satisfying. He knows where the VK4502B is because of the cap, and that Jagdtiger, well, a series of unfortunate events for that Jagdtiger, as he was effectively used by Motorhead to be able to take out the real threat on the enemy team, which was the T-62A. Fantastic play by Motorhead, but it's not over yet. He's got 20 seconds left to interrupt this cap. Now he reloads an HE shell because he feels like he might not always be able to penetrate the VK4502B frontally, and that's true. However, the VK is aiming in a very different location. Maybe he tried to outthink himself there, and he gets interrupted. Now Motorhead is a one-shot the VK4502B. No matter which gun he's using, he could be using the 105mm, and he's still a one-shot. I like what Motorhead's doing here. He got the interrupt with his HE shell, and now he loads his APCR rounds again, and is out maneuvering the VK. Deja vu, hey guys, isn't that exactly the same thing that just happened a few minutes ago? Well played to Motorhead to put yet another shot into his prey. Oh my word. The VK4502B is firing high explosive ammunition. Motorhead was quite lucky there, but it didn't manage to do more damage to his vehicle. Can he take another risk? I'm not sure about that play by the VK. I think HE would do much better against a lightly armored tank, such as a Leopard 1, not the E-50M. It's got fairly thick, albeit flat in some places, armor, and it can take HE damage well. However, I feel this play was completely reckless. A nice shot on the move, however, means that he's able to penetrate the VK4502B, but I think that was overly aggressive. He's got 2 minutes left in the game, and he's taking risks. Luckily for him, the VK missed the side of his tank, which would have killed him if it had connected with the HE. And that was, I think Motorhead, all I can say, he's played it flawlessly up until now, but I think he's getting a little excited. And will it spell his demise as he takes another angle? However, this time the VK's learning. He is pre-aimed, and oh, Motorhead gets so lucky that that the VK misses him. But now the VK exposes his lower plate, which, although it is 200mm thick, when aiming up at it, its angling is not very good, and the 270mm of penetration on the E-50M was able to go through it like butter. So what an incredible round here by Motorhead 1997. Thank you so much for sending me this replay. It was a pleasure to watch, and I love the way that you handled 99% of the situations, and I think until you gave the VK a chance to win the game at the end there, you played perfectly. The highlight of this game was undoubtedly you completely outplaying that 2 versus 1 situation. The fight went down with the Jagdtiger trying to come down the slope. I think your shot into the lower plate damaged the Jagdtiger's engine or killed his driver, which prevented him from turning the vehicle quickly. You evidently saw your opportunity, got round the back of the Jagdtiger and used him as a human shield against the T-62A. Finally baiting him out of hiding, finishing him off, taking out the Jagdtiger in style, and even making it back to base, and won a fight against a full health VK4502. Congratulations to you, Motorhead, on this absolutely awesome game, and thank you so much for sending it to me. So what a fantastic round for Motorhead here. Steel Wall, unsurprising with the amount of hits he took, a Defender medal, High Caliber, the Pools medal, and the one that everyone wants, the Kolobanov's medal, for standing alone against at least 5 opponents. A fantastic achievement in a Tier 10 game. Motorhead had to do pretty much triple the damage of anyone else on his team, and he got 1,652 base experience points. He fired 39, of which he hit 34, and 28 of those penetrated, giving him over 9,000 damage done. And talking about a steel wall medal in a medium tank, 16 hits received, of which 6 penetrated his tank, giving him a potential damage received of 5,770 and 4,000 exactly blocked by his armor. Motorhead did exactly 100 base defense points this game, and he made 50,000 credits profit, with I think not one heat round fired. What a result, literally like a ninja, as you say at the top. I'm going to be giving this one a firm thumbs up. So if you guys enjoyed this replay, please give it a like down below, it really helps the channel out. And if you want to see another awesome E-50M replay, this time by Calnus, then simply click up here and you can go through to see his winning entry for the 200,000 subscriber replay competition. In other news, I know there's been a motion test server this weekend, which I'm going to be showing off on the live stream tonight if the server is still up. And I'd like to know if you guys have been on it, what do you think now? What are your impressions of the upcoming physics changes, now that we've had a chance to have a go with them? And as always guys, thank you so much for watching, you've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.